Hello and welcome this month's RC Racing and the stalwart of the show after 6 series. It's our best ofs episode. But hang around, you're thinking, what will it be this time, Nick? Well, as you can see, I have Ollie, one of our co-presenters, and Matt, the genius behind the stuff that we don't get round to doing, with me to discuss what our own personal best ofs. Over the next 3 months, you're going to see the races from the past 6 years that we think were the best we've ever seen. So in our first best of us, it's best of Matt. And what's your first choice, Matt? And is the T-shirt a bit of a giveaway?
Yeah, undoubtedly the best thing I did was the Baja Endurance from the Nürburgring.
This is a team thing.
Yeah, but it was just me that was there. It's my voiceover, my editing and my camera work.
It really is the best of Matt.
This is HPI's 24-hour Baja Endurance Challenge 2009. Europe's premier large-scale off-road event which sees the best RC Baja drivers and mechanics from across the continent do battle. Each team has already won at the highest level in their own country, so naturally, confidence is high.
We go for the win.
Good. We can battle for first place.
You think so?
Yes.
We are here to win.
We're going to be on TV now, so don't interrupt.
But the next 24 hours will decide.
Probably not going to sleep.
I don't want to change any spare parts.
And the pressure's on.
Killer, innit?
Who will cross the finish line and who will make it through the night?
Everything's changed.
With this year's challenge set in Germany's motorsport mecca Nürburgring, our teams soak up the heritage, both on the Nordschleife and where they're more at home, on the mud. And what better place to prepare our teams for the challenge than here at the Camp for Fun Off-Road Park.
To the floor. Yeah. To the floor. To the floor.
Clinging to the inside of a full-scale Land Rover Discovery, equipped with ultra-low crawler gear cases, drivers can fine-tune their skills and quick reflexes. With our teams fully bonded and warmed up, it's back to the track for qualifiers and last-minute preparations. The qualifier took place over 1 hour, with the teams aiming to gain the fastest single lap.
See, we're just cleaning the car up after the qualifiers. Didn't have a brilliant qualifier.
Team UK 2 suffered in the wet conditions, with teams Germany 2 and 1 taking the top spots, followed by a very confident Slovenia in third position.
I think our team is very good prepared.
I think you have really good chances for the
Yes,
race.
because we have very good 6 drivers. They're driving very carefully.
The one thing we have done is give ourselves the best backing and the best service we could do, really.
It's a 24-hour race now. It's going to need a lot of luck.
Skill, preparation and luck. Our teams now need a healthy dose of all three as it's time for the main event. As the clock ticks through the first minutes, typically chaotic opening laps ensue as the teams fight to establish positions early on. And with teams Germany 1 and 2 taking top qualifying spots, is it a case of home advantage or a more philosophical view?
If you have many problems, you lose, and if you have not so much, you can win.
A few hours in and the battle scars are beginning to appear. Be it lapses in concentration or competition pressure. Several teams have early repair work and must act quickly to get back in the race.
Another concurrent crashed on the back of our car and broke the triangle.
And on the other side of the pits, a very British version of the same problem.
Yeah, someone hit us up the arse.
Once the pit crew have identified the problem, it's a race against the clock to fix and refit new parts. For the team to work effectively, they need to establish clear communication with all members. But when a team's car stops running, pulses begin to race and stress and panic set in. Some teams implement a radio system to stay ahead of the game.
Well, the intercoms are pretty much just to go between marshal, pits and driver, so if the driver's got an issue with the car, you can radio in and say, issue with car coming in for pit. Just to speed things up a little, everyone knows what's happening.
Other teams rely on the more traditional method of shouting. In the midst of the melee, one team's laid-back approach stands out. Czech Republic, who seem to have a comfortable second place and are catching up.
With 4 or 5 laps behind the first, and we are getting smaller and smaller gap behind the first. So you'll see. So it's going good.
But moments later, and trouble strikes. A collision has caused damage to Czech Republic's front shocks, and the team must leap into action. The pit crew meet with the mechanic who has the replacement part ready. And at breakneck speed, they refit, restart, and get back on the chase for top position. It's all in a day's work for Czech Republic.
Fast and Furious.
As the afternoon draws on, rain begins to fall, bringing with it more challenges for our teams to overcome. The wet surface makes controlling the Bajas tougher. The dirt can clog up the buggy's moving parts, plus the covering of mud and water can add an extra 2 kilos, but the Bajas don't show any signs of slowing down. Team Germany 1's driving skills keep them in the lead for much of the afternoon, lapping back markers again and again. The super cool Czechs continue to hold their own and gun for first place. Many teams are struggling, including top qualifiers Germany 2, who seem to be slipping down the positions. But something's not right.
They have a problem with the transponder. It didn't count and they don't find what it is.
The race timing system hasn't been counting a number of teams' laps correctly.
Yeah, they're just looking and they don't find the problem. They change it with another one, but it also doesn't count. So.
And more teams are having the same problem. With the problem escalating and teams up in arms, the race organisers are forced to take radical action. The timing sensor, which is buried in the track, has malfunctioned and only counted teams' laps intermittently.
Every race meeting is going to have its problems. We certainly had our fair share of problems with the timing equipment, which forced us to pause the race, have a few meetings with the team managers, do some repairs to the track just to keep things rolling.
With the race suspended, the team managers would take a vote and resolve to add half of the current laps to the final result. So as the sun sets over the Camp for Fun off-road park, the race staff work tirelessly to make repairs while the teams await the all clear to get back out on the track. "9 p.m. and the race restarts. Now it's dark and the track temperature has plummeted, but there's no time for drivers to adjust. Breaking ahead of the pack in this uneasy situation will help teams boost their position, and whilst a percentage of the laps already run will be added to the final standings, this is a second chance to get off to a good start. As many teams were aware, the night driving stage would be the most challenging yet.
I think that the night will be a challenge for all of us.
To pass the night. pass the night.
Yeah.
If we are running at 8 o'clock morning, it's okay.
The track keeps changing every half an hour, new bumps and everything.
Well, for me it's difficult to drive in the darkness.
The back straight, you don't see it, you don't see the tires, and it's really hard. You have to go I don't know, 5 times to learn the track.
Yeah. Mechanic, no problem. It's just a human problem.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay.
But as you'd expect, all our teams came well prepared.
Yes. You see, the Dutch, they have always a good, very nice barbecue.
We took a long nap.
Adrenaline keeps us going.
We got sneakers. We have some sausages left, and we got Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Another Red Bull. Coffee.
Actually, Rockstar.
Mars. Cup of coffee, and have fun.
One team evidently not relying on energy drinks are the new leaders, Czech Republic.
You appear to be leading at the moment, and here you are with your feet up.
Just relax.
Yeah, just relaxed. Can you just tell us what the current strategy is with the team?
Same like in the beginning, so go smooth and no mistakes and no crashes, so easy.
Easier said than done. It's not just the elements that are changing, but also the track. Constantly. In fact, in this race, every lap is a different experience. Weighing in at 10 kilos and tearing across the landscape at around 40 miles per hour, the Bajas have a serious impact on the surface. So, a team is reshaping and maintaining the track throughout the whole race. Jan Ackerman built the track especially for this event.
We only have 2 days because there's no permanent track. We must make it in 2 days, and so we make the best.
The team managers had mixed opinions on this year's track.
On the first side, we didn't like the track very much.
Oh, it's perfect. It looks wonderful.
This is very, very easy. I expect something more difficult.
The track is much better than last year.
It's not going to be any fun when it's wet like this, none at all.
So we need to adjust to the track, not track to us.
No, we don't have time to sleep.
One thing that both drivers and marshals agree though, on this track, at night, concentration is a matter of survival. As the temperature continues to fall, fatigue begins to take its toll, and our teams begin to show the strain. Increasingly erratic driving makes the marshals' lives even harder as buckling drivers struggle to steady themselves. Poor judgment leads to more frequent crashes that become even harder to fix in the adverse conditions. With 12 hours to go, Germany 1 are in first place with Czech Republic and Holland biting at their heels. Further down the standings, and the battles are even more intense. And in the dead of night, the pits are about to be gripped by chaos. Team GB1 have suffered water damage to their radio gear and must swap out their receiver. Top qualifiers Germany 2 have continued their rotten luck and now find themselves in 11th place with shock damage to contend with. Enter Team Poland 1 with significantly more at stake and fighting the Estonians for 4th place and spitting distances from those all-important podium places. The chief Poland mechanic barks orders at his crew as they rush to emerge from a bad crash and replace their front end. Fighting for space, fighting to be heard, and aching to get back in the race. As one team sprints back to the track, another hits the pit table, knowing that lap after lap, the race is getting away. But for all those involved, the suspense is mounting. All but 2 of the teams survived the night. Team UK2 had only 3 members and not enough parts to see them through. Also, last year's winners Hungary were a shock dropout and would be the only other team not to finish. In the early hours, Germany 1 regained the lead briefly, but lost it again to Czech Republic, whilst Holland and Slovenia battled hard for third position. And in a race that in the end was more about never giving up, Iceland again proved to be one of the toughest teams.
When the sun was coming up, there's shadows on the tracks. It was looked like the tires of cars were on the track. So
overall, how do you guys feel after driving all night?
Tired.
Tiredness and the early morning shadows also led to uncharacteristic problems for our leaders. Czech Republic have been involved in a collision, and this time there's no avoiding the pits. With the time leeching away and second place Germany 1 edging closer by a lap every 30 seconds, Czech Republic refit the damaged parts in record time and get back on track without losing their position. And as the end approaches, the Czechs are in defence mode.
The last minute, the last second is going to be...
I feel pretty good now, like 4 o'clock this morning I was...
With the final laps approaching and the high spirits spreading through the pits, a chance to reflect.
Yeah, I'll be buying loads of badges now. V2s, everything.
My precious.
So you look pretty fresh.
The team's been quality, everyone's been real good. It's, you know what I mean, we had a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, next time we'll do some different planning.
Yeah.
Like I said, you just got to keep counting laps because it's an endurance.
And the laps didn't stop as the teams continue to surge onwards for the finish line. As home team Germany 1's stunning driving skills deliver them a solid second place, ahead of the determined Holland 1 who overcame every obstacle to take third. But the cool game plan of one team paid off. After a whole day and night and 1,534 laps, Czech Republic arrives in remarkable condition as the winner of the Baja Endurance Challenge 2009.
We don't have troubles with the car. We just make only small fixes like with the tape or with some cable binder, so no problems.
Okay.
And the secrets of our winner's success?
Try to keep everything in a good shape.
Everything must be prepared perfectly.
Don't overrush.
It's not so important to be fast, but it's important to be easy to drive the car.
Yeah. And stay calm.
Yeah, it's been a lovely weekend, in all honesty.
Yeah, that was a wonderful race. The weekend was great.
It's a great race.
Oh, we're back. That was a long edit there, Matt, indeed. Now,
Not
you're...
self-indulgent at all.
No, so for your second choice, I take it something involving the team.
No, this was me again. This was my fantastic camera work. Proved that in the Snowbirds, they got the wrong winner at the World GT final.
More! Best of Matt.
Who bought Honeygall then with the pressure of being on pole position. And Blackstock makes an absolute flyer into second, gives it up for a moment, but then retakes second place from Brian Wynne, who settles down into third there. Behind them, I think that's Trandell, who's in fourth position, bit of pointing going on. And Trandell's gone through into third. Trandell into third position. But it's Honeygall leading from Blackstock in second position. Mike Blackstock, who has a look down the inside and fails, and that's cost him some time. So that's allowed Honeygall to get away. Honeygall and Blackstock, two well-known names if you watch RC racing a lot. And Blackstock just making the first mistake there, with Trandell in third position, getting a little bit ragged as he tries to close down on Blackstock in second. And then in third position, fourth position rather, it's Brian Wynne in the green and pink machine. Two-wheel drive cars, these have really caught on very quickly. As there's a mistake there. A mistake there by Joe Trandell, who has dropped out of third position. That's handed it back to Brian Wynne. Just making the point about the two-wheel drive machines. They do take a little bit of getting used to. A little more tail happy, or loose as the Americans would say. Got to get them set up, because without the extra pull from those front wheels, it can be a little bit difficult just to get the setup. I don't want them too twitchy. I want them to kind of rotate around the front wheels. but not, as I say, too loose that you can't hold on to them, particularly under braking. Mistake further back down the field there. The white and orange car going through was Bob Stelflew, who started off in 10th and is working his way through the field, and he's had a decent opening part to the race here. So they go through the twisties. Yellow with the white is Walter Henderson, just ahead of him there. As again, they come through this very technical centre portion. And again, if you watch our racing a lot, you'll notice the difference between how the track is delineated. Hard, solid barriers here, right the way around the corners, including the curbs, or should I say without any curbs, right to the apex of the corner, whereas in Europe, the favoured method of marking out the track has the barriers with the upturned saucers, if you like, which seem to cause so many problems. Very difficult to keep the car under control. Here, no margin of error at all. Slight mistake and you'll clip the wall. Back to the leaders then. Honeygall still with Blackstock, trying to close him down. And Mike Blackstock recovering from that earlier attempt at overtaking in the first of the hairpins. Might also notice, if you're a regular watcher, that this is a mostly left-hand circuit. Not always the case. As they come down onto the back straight again, and there's a bit of lappery going on. The Dave Ehrlich car going a lap down, and some nice heads-up driving by some of the now midfield drivers. I won't call them back markers as the leaders come through. Hooper Honeygall then leading from Mike Blackstock, the CRC ahead of the Associated as more traffic is being negotiated, and it's a tribute to how quick these drivers are that they are lapping through the field. Pretty much half the field already a lap down as we move into the closing stages here, and the battle is joined again for the lead. Blackstock, and that's where he likes it, just in that braking area, to that left-hand hairpin off the long run down the back straight. And Blackstock has absolutely timed this perfectly. Honeygall's going to have his wits about him now, and there's more traffic as well. Little mistake by Blackstock, takes the edge off it. And that'll give Honeygall at the head of the field just a little bit of room to settle back into his groove and not have to defend just at the moment. I think that's Bob Stelflew, who is the next car to go a lap back if they get close to him. Stelflew will have to have his wits about him in that fluorescent orange-tailed car. There he is. Oh, and a mistake by Honeygall has let Blackstock right into it. He tries round the outside, ducks back to the inside. He loves it here and he goes through, takes the lead. Can he hang on to it? Yes, he does. Marvellous piece of driving by Blackstock. He saw the opportunity and took it decisively, paying it off in his favourite spot on the circuit. And Blackstock has made the move when it counts. Not much time left as Honeygall goes side by side. A little bit of paint traded there, but that was crossing the line at the end of the race, so the decisive moment a couple of laps before. And oh, now this is going to be interesting because Honeygall has been given the win. Honeygall has been given the win by a fraction of a second. We'll get the results in a moment, but first of all, let's have a look at the decisive moment of the race. Here is where the lead goes. Honeygall makes a mistake. Blackstock sets him up, and this is his favourite part of the circuit. He's super quick through this left-hander, and that is a very decisive move indeed. Just a little block check, and there is the lead for Blackstock. Now, coming to the line, a little bit of a touch. Now, I think that's the line there, and for me, Blackstock may just be half a bumper's width ahead, because it's not till about here till Honeygall gets back in the lead. It's all going to depend where the transponder is. So here is the confirmation. Hooper Honeygall by the smallest measurable margin, 5:03.53 to 5:03.54, 1/100th of a second. Mike Blackstock, I think, can count himself a little bit unlucky. Brian Wynn in third position from Abrera, Trandell, and everybody else at least a lap back.
Well, that's all we've got time for this Matt Fest we've had today. Next month, I think you'll find it's even better because somebody called Nick will be centre stage. But until then, you can access our archive anytime you like at www.rcracing.tv.